What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And in this video I will be giving you guys my review on the Zack Snyder's Justice League, or the Director's Cut Justice League. Remember, if you guys like these videos, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, as it does help out a lot. And yeah, let's just jump right into this. So I want to start out with, I think that this movie is way better than the Justice League that was released in theaters. Obviously, honestly, that movie was just a mess. I mean, what was Joss Whedon thinking, adding that family into the movie? You know, the family that was attacked by parademons and stuff like that. And that movie also, like, just ruined Cyborg and Batman. And because that movie had two completely different directors working on the movie at different points, it just felt so messy. I mean, Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon just have such different styles. Zack Snyder has really dark movies, and then you have Joss Whedon, who has really hopeful and funny movies. And the fact that they never even worked together on that movie just made it so much worse. But I'm not here to talk about the theatrical Justice League. I'm here to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I think that the movie, it's good. A big step up from the original, but it isn't great. And I have a few reasons for my opinions. And if you disagree, just leave nice, respectful comments down below in the comments explaining your opinion. So I want to say that the people that say that this movie is completely different from the theatrical release are just like, they're just wrong. Like, just wrong. I'd say that maybe Joss Whedon added some extra dialogue into scenes, but besides the family and like Batman's first encounter with the parademons, there wasn't really anything that different. He just cut a lot of things. So let's talk about the things that I liked about the movie. I liked what Zack Snyder did with the characters in the movie. At least, like, the characters were better than they were in the original. As I said earlier, he made Cyborg and Batman infinitely better. And because he was using all the footage that he himself shot and no reshoots that Joss Whedon made, Henry Cavill didn't have a CGI lip half the time. So when he was on screen, so that in itself made Superman way better. Also, he took where Superman was from in the previous films, where he didn't make jokes, and he was like a more serious character, and continued that in this movie. Joss Whedon's Superman and all of the other characters just felt so out of place because it was such a change from where they were in previous movies. In this movie, Wonder Woman was actually a character and was actually inspiring young girls, so that was good. And even though I enjoyed the Flash in Whedon's cut, I think he was given a much better character arc in this movie and wasn't just played off as a joke. We also understand why Steppenwolf was trying to collect the mother boxes. He wasn't just praising them, like praise the mother. He was actually getting them for Darkseid, and Zack Snyder explains more clearly what Bruce's nightmare in Batman versus Superman was. The visuals were also pretty good, and especially the final battle. You know, it wasn't all red and orange anymore. And they set up characters like Martian Manhunter and the Atom that will probably never get roles because this movie isn't canon to the whole DCEU. But overall, I think that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a way longer, more fleshed out and polished version of the theatrical cut. Sure, we got more character development, like with the Cyborg and the Flash, but in all honesty, Zack Snyder didn't really add too much that was different from the theatrical cut, except for the nightmare sequences, and apparently those weren't even in his original vision. They were added in reshoots. I mean, people were saying how this was going to be like a totally different movie, and it just wasn't. It was pretty much the same. Even the new additions like Darkseid really didn't do anything to like the plot of the movie. It just helps you understand the movie a little better. And now for what I didn't like about the movies. As you guys know, this movie was 4 hours long, which is really long for a movie. Couple that with that HBO Max is literally like the worst streaming service ever, and that is not a great mix. I mean, I think I spent like 5 hours watching the Snyder Cut because HBO Max kept buffering like every single minute. I know it isn't the movie's fault that it premiered on HBO Max, but let me tell you, the experience of watching the movie was not good at all. And because the movie was 4 hours long, the pacing wasn't really good, and in my opinion, it was like pretty slow. I mean, I literally felt that the first maybe like 2 hours of the movie was just the first hour of Joss Whedon's Justice League with some extended scenes. So basically, it was literally the first hour um, of Joss Whedon's Justice League, but more dragged out. So you can understand why I felt the pacing was a little slow. I mean, there's basically like no action until they resurrected Superman, which is a little more than 2 hours into the movie. And it's not even that like the pacing is slow, but like Zack Snyder added some unnecessary scenes, in my opinion. Well, not unnecessary scenes, but like unnecessarily like drawn out scenes. Like when Aquaman refuses a call to Bruce Wayne and like goes to the ocean. Like you didn't have to have a whole minute of them singing. Like we get the point, just add like maybe 10 seconds of it, and then just move on. I feel like Zack Snyder probably wanted his movie to be 4 hours long, so he added some extended scenes just to get there. Another problem I have with the movie is that it's way too much like the original Justice League. I touched on this a bit earlier, but it's pretty clear that aside from the family, Joss Whedon was inspired by Zack Snyder's footage. He just added some like weird and quippy lines. So in part, Zack Snyder was to blame for like the atrocity that we saw on screen. And even though I said that Cyborg, not Cyclops, was infinitely better than the theatrical version because that Cyborg was just awful. He's only better because we get more backstory on him and we like understand like who he is and what happened to him more. He isn't really a character that is all that interesting. I mean, like, his backstory is interesting, but the actual character itself is really bland. I also don't like how he only grieved about his father for like 2 scenes before getting over it. I feel like a movie that's 4 hours long could have explored his grief a little more, which would have made his line about him not being alone even better. Because we feel that he doesn't care about like he doesn't care that he lost the only person left in his family because he only grieves for like such a short time. His realization that he actually does have a new family really doesn't work that well. I also feel like Superman didn't really get any character development in this movie. We see him reunite with Lois and Martha, as well as get his powers back, but those are just like getting him back to where he was before he died. I mean, they literally basically redid a scene from Man of Steel and a scene from Batman v Superman. Like Superman just gets resurrected and says, "Well, I guess I gotta do this now." And then the whole purpose he serves in the plot is to fill out the runtime by having that whole Resurrect Superman plotline. Actually, get Superman into the movie because that'll sell more tickets, and then or you know, since it premiered on HBO Max, like get more people to watch it, and create a plausible way to defeat Steppenwolf because they were like sucking at it earlier. So even though the characters were better than the theatrical cut, they still weren't great. And even up to the previous appearances of these characters in the DCEU. Like when for Wonder Woman it would be her movie, for Batman it would be Batman v Superman. I really like Batman in there, and for Superman it would be Man of Steel. As I said earlier, overall I think it's a good movie, and I would probably give it like maybe like a 77 out of 100 score. And looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, the critics gave it a 73% as I'm writing this, and the audience has a whopping 96%, which is just like insane. I feel like the critics are way more correct than the audience, but like I understand that like this is a dream come true for most of the audience members, so they would rate it a little higher, a lot higher than it probably should be. But anyways, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Too easy!